Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received, and the translation of that message, it reads like this. Hello, how are you? If someone comes to my shrine, even just saying that, I have stomach pains, uncle, can you assist me? I curse them without telling them that I am cursing them. Please do not get me wrong. I am doing this so as to save myself. I do curse them because of some of the mistakes that I did as a traditional healer. For a long time, I used to work in South Africa on a certain farm, but during the weekends I would go to my girlfriend's house in the location. She was a South African woman, and people knew that if they would come to me, they would get some help. So we used to make a lot of money. Even the house that the woman built, it was from my hands. I was the one that was working for her. I would give her money because a lot of South Africans, they have so many spiritual problems that can be fixed easily, even just by using salt. There is this red salt that is used to chase away Tokoloshes because they are demons that they fight with. They are not the same as the Mozambican or the Zimbabwean or the Zambian demons, because here, if you have a relative that is bewitching you, that person will go to another country just to get some charms so as to curse you. But in South Africa, it is very rare for someone who is bewitching you to go to another country. So it means that you are only dealing with local demons which are easily chased away. But from our nation, usually if you want to bewitch someone, you can go as far as Nigeria. So when you are fighting with a demon, you have to communicate with that demon using the language of where that demon was taken. So I saw that it was quite easy to cure these South Africans from different kind of spiritual diseases that they were suffering from, as well as the problems that they were facing. But I did it in a clever way. If a person would come to me, I would make sure that his problem will go so big. I will negotiate with that spiritual entity that will be the source of their problems, and I would leave that spiritual entity to have one final say in their life before I would have chased it away from them. So this way, normal problems that just needed maybe salt to bath with, salt, jay's fluid, and other holy items that you can use to chase away demons. So from that time, I was someone who was now chasing money, did not care much about how someone would feel if they would come to my shrine. All that I would see is someone who was a customer whom I wanted to make as much as I can from that person. You can call me Sekuru Mavunga. I am a well-known traditional healer from Mondoro. Because I wanted so much money, that was when I went to this other Mozambican man. He assisted me, and then he gave me a Tokoloshe. He told me that these Tokoloshes, two of them that he had given me, they would mate, but he had given me some charms such that when these Tokoloshes will be mating with each other, then they won't be able to have other spiritual babies, which are Tokoloshes. So those charms, they expired. When I went back to Mozambique, that was when I was told that the old man whom I had met in South Africa, he had died. One day he had gone to the river to fish whilst he was on his canoe boat. That was when he fell into the river and he passed away. His body was recovered almost 8 days later. So these Tokoloshes, they started multiplying, and these Tokoloshes, they became 12 of them. And when I had 12 Tokoloshes, by the time that I left South Africa, I returned back to Mondoro. I started working. Life was nice. People would bring their sick relatives, and when they would bring their sick relatives, because of the spiritual powers that I had, then I would be able to cure their relatives in time. That was when I started to notice that each and every person that would be brought to my shrine will tell me about some of these Tokoloshes that he was seeing in my shrine. When I would look in the spiritual realm, I would only see 12 of those Tokoloshes. What I did not know was that these Tokoloshes, they are very clever. They would impregnate each other in the spiritual realm, and after the wife, the Tokolosh, would have given birth, they would hide the little Tokolosh baby from me, so much that I did not even know that I now had hundreds of them at my homestead. My wife, she used to complain. She would be like, Baba, what is going on? We go to the grinding mill and we return back with the milli mill, but within 1 week, a 25 kg of milli mill is gone. Boom. How are we eating? So since we used to have a lot of visitors, those people that would come to our shrine, I thought that maybe that was the reason as to why the food will be finished so much. Yet these Tokoloshes, they would steal the milli mill and they would go and cook somewhere else and return back. They would be full. And then I confronted these Tokoloshes. That was when they revealed it to me that they had babies and their babies had other babies. It was just too much. They were doing whatever that they wanted, and they told me that they could continue working for me, but what I was supposed to do was to make sure that each and every time when someone will come to my shrine, then I had to give that person, whether the person wanted a Tokoloshi or not, but I had to give that person a Tokoloshi so that it can find a new home, because I was unable to feed them. There was a time when I had so much cows, almost 80 of them, but they were finished within 1 year because I had to slaughter those cows one by one. So even though I was making money, people would come from Harare, Chegutu, Mutare, even from Johannesburg coming to see me. I started owning several houses, even built my 5-bedroomed house, a very beautiful one in Musana, having taxis, even dated 3 married women that came to me saying that they wanted to have kids. I even healed 2 pastors' kids who secretly visited me with their kids, and they told me that they had tried God and God had failed them. These Tokoloshes, they kept on mating and replicating themselves. And then that was when I started giving these Tokoloshes to those people that come to my shrine. So if you ever come to my shrine and then you tell me that maybe you have a stomach ache, I will curse you without you even knowing that this is what I am doing. I can say, here, hold my walking staff and go with it outside. The moment that you walk outside of my shrine holding my walking staff, you will be telling the Tokoloshes that you have accepted them. So it's either 1, 2, or 3, depending with the level of your poverty. So these Tokoloshes, they know that if this person has so much money, maybe he can feed either 4 of us. If this person does not have money, maybe he can only feed 1. So they will always make you carry a burden that you will be able to afford to carry. These Tokoloshes, they just operate the same way that God operates. God will never make you to carry a burden that is too heavy for you. You can think that the burden is too heavy, but you're not going to die. If you are a poor man, 1 Tokolosh will be enough for you, because what you will be eating, you will also be sharing with that Tokolosh. The richer that you are, the more the Tokoloshes that I give you. So I have been distributing these Tokoloshes to people who do not even know that now in their homes they have Tokoloshes. Some of them, they stay in the ceiling. Some of them, they stay in the boot of their cars, in the wardrobes, and when they are hungry, they go and they take food from the kitchen, such that the person will just wonder, how is it even possible that they are eating so much food? That is what I do, not because I am an evil man, but what else did you want me to do? If I tried to chase them away, they will kill me, and they were finishing my livestock. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our brother. That was the translation of the message that was sent to me. Strange things, indeed, they do happen in this world. Just imagine you go to a traditional healer. When you go to that traditional healer, then you are given a Tokoloshi without you even realizing that you have been given a Tokoloshes. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. Yo.